Hi everyone, I wanted to talk a little bit about a devil. Um, this is on the Democrat side. Warnock, Reverend Warnock, who claims to be a reverend. The side he represents is a side of Marxist, communism, socialism, and globalists. They all, in one way or another, support or profit or take part in the trafficking, abuse, or pedophilia of children. And a lot of people don't know what's behind people like him. It's Satanism. So he's a front to confuse the masses. And what I mean by that is he has made a statement that you can't serve God and be in the military, or serve the military and serve God. This guy tries to confuse the masses as much as possible because all of the people like him know on the back end that our president, if there's one thing our president has to set these devils in line when they're burning down cities and attacking people, because this is what he supports, Soros and all that, communist China. They know our president has a constitutional right to get the military out to straighten out their asses. So he put out this bullshit verbiage that God is against the military. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, guys. Don't buy into that. And again, they all support or take part in abuse of children and profit off of it. A real quick example: if you see a senator or a governor who makes around $200,000 a year, and they live like in an $8 million home, they're profiting on criminality on the back end, whether it's adrenochrome, organ harvesting on the black market, pedophilia, trafficking. And it's why they protect those things on the back end. And they can't just come out and decide they want to be a Republican or they want to be a good senator or a good politician. Because when you take part in crimes like that, they have something that's called an insurance policy. An insurance policy is where not only do you support the very sick crimes of the left radical Democrats and these Democrats or even Republicans, but when you take part, they film you. And that's their insurance policy on you. Where if you run your mouth, they're going to out you. And then you're going to be thrown to the wolves. So Warnock is troubled. He had a troubled summer camp arrest for interfering in child abuse probe that surfaced. This is written on December 11th of 2020 by the New York Post by a man named Stephen Nelson. Georgia Democratic state candidate Reverend Raphael Warnock is continuing to be, he's coming under fire for serious incidents at a summer camp he ran in Maryland, including his own arrest for impeding child abuse investigation. So Warnock, a pastor at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church since 2005, previously worked 5 years as a pastor of a Baltimore church whose camp was plagued with abuse and health code violations. These people are the biggest criminals. In fact, 2002, Warnock and a colleague were arrested for interfering with a police investigation of abuse claims. Warnock back then was 33 years old. He was taken away in handcuffs after he interrupted a police interview with a camp counselor about possible abuse and blocked a camper from directing officers to other witnesses of the abuse. He's covering up the crimes. This devil that calls himself a reverend, covering up crimes against children so cops won't be able to investigate. And this was according to the Baltimore Sun that this surfaced. Now, about a year later, Camp Farthest Out, that's what the camp's called, where the child or children were getting abused, in rural Carroll County, was shut down by Maryland Department of Health, which refused to issue a certificate to operate due to poor health inspection that had 11 violations that the camp failed to report. Also, 5 findings of child abuse and or neglect after an investigation by the Department of Social Services into the camp director, Brian Carter. And again, this was 11 violations, and the fact that the camp failed to report 5 findings of child abuse or neglect after an investigation by the Department of Social Services into camp director Brian Carter, according to the Washington Free Beacon reports. Health violations reportedly included inadequate lifeguard coverage at the camp's pool, lack of CPR certificates or certifications, insufficient camp health information, not doing background checks on staff, and lack of approval for plumbing or electrical systems. In 2003, a deal with the state to reopen Camp Farthest Out, the church agreed to fire Carter and 2 subordinates. And this is according to the camp's lawyer, Paul Shelton. He said the camp's leadership was unaware of the abuse findings against Carter. Warnock's campaign did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The Senate candidate Warnock said in 2002 that his efforts to disrupt police interviews at the camp were reasonable. It's just unfortunate that our children had to see their pastors carried away in handcuffs, Warnock said. My concern simply had to do with the presence of counsel. These people are the biggest criminals and the biggest liars. What he said, he did exactly the opposite of. He got rid of the ability for witnesses to come forward to police, and these devils make me so sick. He just said, my concern simply had to do with the presence of counsel. And this is why we have to be worried about these radical, democratic, satanic, child abusing, war waging on their own citizens. These Democrats make me sick. They're the most evil, the biggest criminals, and they're gonna spew some bullshit to your face to confuse you. Don't fall for it, guys. Same thing with Hollywood. Makes me sick. Oh, so disappointing. So a state trooper, when this was going on, state trooper Diane Berry told The Sun, I've never encountered resistance like that at all. She's talking about Reverend Warnock keeping witnesses forcefully away from police. The Free Beacon reports that Warnock left Baltimore's Douglas Memorial Community Church at around the time a lawsuit filed in 2003 was settled. The subject of the lawsuit is unknown and case records are missing, state officials told the paper. The political content of Warnock's sermons, including that the U.S. must repent for all its worship of witness, has been a focus of Republican criticism ahead of the January 5th runoff election against Senator Kelly Loeffler. Control of the Senate hinges on that race and another Georgia runoff between Republican Senator David Perdue and Democratic challenger Jon Ossoff. So I just want to say this. I know I don't have a large following, but if you happen to watch me or know of me and you have a large following on YouTube, our Senate right now is desperately dependent on how this runoff between these devils, Warnock and Jon Ossoff, are going to play out against Perdue, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. We need Kelly Loeffler to win and David Perdue. Alright guys, I just want to talk about Warnock, how this guy is a straight devil. He's a Satanist masquerading as a reverend. And doing things on the back end and saying the complete opposite. These flowery, wonderful little messages, guys, is what is going to get America in a position, in a hog-tie stranglehold by the socialism, globalists, Marxists, communists that are trying to take over our country. And these are all Satanists, the biggest criminals. Alright guys, I just wanted to talk about that. I hope you guys are all doing well. And I am going to be putting links up to see if you want to support me, to help me move, to help me get a restraining order against Scientology cult. It's not safe when I leave my house. I'm scared for my life. The cops do nothing. And communism is trying to take over. It's taken over the cult. And I've been saying this for months. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care of each other. Be good to one another. Bye everyone.